Hi there! Thanks for joining in this 3-part video series. My name's Jen Stewart and I'll take you through some short little bite-sized chunks over this week around yoga for trauma. So whether we've heard of this before or we haven't, neither matters. We're allowing each thing to be a brand new experience. So in these practices, we don't need anything fancy around us, just making sure that we're in some comfy clothes. We haven't even got to have a mat if we don't want, maybe a nice blanket, maybe the grass. Feeling free to use any pillows off your bed or the sofa, knowing that we don't need any particular equipment, just ourselves and making sure that we're warm enough and in some comfy clothes. So before we begin, I thought I'd give you a short little explanation of what's going to happen here. And so we're gently led into this practice rather than jump straight in and we're not quite sure, what's going on. So I'm a yoga teacher and I specialize in yoga for trauma. And I've been working with groups, individuals, and now running these online courses as well. It's a great way for people to have this opportunity to really come into their physical body, and so then we can release these stuck emotions out of the physical body. The body remembers. There's a lot of new and older research coming around this somatic experiencing, and to be honest, we really don't need to get our head around the theory now. Instead, this is just an opportunity to get a felt sense of what this practice is about and how it can really benefit you. So through these 3-part video series, we'll take it nice and slow as an introduction. I'll guide you through, and everything I say is just an invitation. If there's something that you're like, hey, I really don't want to do that, then be empowered and don't do that. Lie down, have a rest, have a cup of tea, who knows? Everything I say is an invitation. Everything is a total choice. We'll work with things like the breath in a very gentle and responsible way. We can work into the physical body and know that we can do this if we have any ailments, knowing that this practice can be done in a chair, knowing that we can just pause me at any point and continue if we want a little break, something like this. There'll also be aspects of meditation. We're not going to have long sits and no explanations, but instead just having these trickled throughout the practice, and so we can start to get this integrated into our own experience. So as the weeks go on, feel free to send me a message if anything comes up and you have any questions. I'm here to support you, and I hope you enjoy. So I invite you to bring yourself into a comfortable seated shape, knowing that this can be cross-legged, this can be kneeling, this can be having your legs out straight, maybe leaning against a wall, or maybe even in a chair. Using as many pillows and blankets as we like, just checking in that we're really comfy. And once we've had a moment to readjust and maybe bring ourselves into a comfortable shape, if you feel okay, maybe closing down the eyes, or maybe just allowing the eyes to have a soft gaze at something in front of you that's not moving. And just check in. Am I comfortable? Is there anything I could do right now to bring myself into more comfort? knowing that we're not bound into this shape, giving ourselves permission to readjust and move around so that we can take effective action and bring ourselves into comfort. Maybe we've readjusted again. Maybe we'd like to take that check-in again. Maybe a nice long inhale just to lengthen through the spine. Maybe an exhale out the mouth, just letting it all go. Settling into your seat. Maybe taking a swallow. And just taking a moment to notice, how do I feel in this moment in my physical body? Just noticing the areas of your physical body in contact with the ground or the props that you've used. Just noticing where the weight is. Is the weight more on the left side or the right side? Just noticing the temperature of the air around your skin. Just noticing what it feels like to rest your hands upon your body. Just noticing what it feels like to be wearing your clothes. Maybe feeling the fabric, feeling those areas that may be tighter and those that may be looser. Just gently scanning through the body to feel any areas that may feel particularly stiff or sticky. No commentary needed, just noticing. Just noticing those areas that feel more open and spacious. Just noticing any sensations. Perhaps gently tuning into your own breath. If you feel comfortable, placing one hand to the belly and one hand to the chest. And just noticing how that feels. Maybe noticing how the fingertips and the palms feel against your body. Just feeling any of this internal movement being explored with the hands. Just noticing, are you breathing more into the belly or into the chest? Just noticing whether you're breathing more through the nose or the mouth. Gently scanning through the face to see if we can let go of any unnecessary tension. Smoothing through the forehead, soft in the temples. Maybe wiggling out the jaw, maybe even taking a yawn. Allowing the lips to part. Tongue gently falling back in your mouth. allowing the shoulders to become heavy and relaxed. Just tuning into the journey of each breath, allowing this concentration to just tune into what happens when we inhale. How does that feel? What happens when we exhale? How does that really feel? So in these practices, it's all around interoception. And just briefly, this is about tuning into this felt sense, noticing what things feel like from the inside, moment to moment. So just giving yourself that permission to slow down and notice, how does this breath feel? Just noticing the quality of each breath. Perhaps even counting the length of each inhale. And the length of each exhale. Just noticing, are they even? Just noticing, are they uneven? Nothing to manipulate, nothing to change. But instead, just meeting yourself where you are in this moment, just as you are. And I invite you to explore a couple of breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. If that felt good, trying that again, breathing in, finding all this space, opening. Exhales out the mouth, letting it go. Feeling free to try that again, or just returning to your natural rhythm. Feeling free to bring the hands down at any point. And to begin some movement, I invite you to very slowly and very gently invite the chin to drop down to the chest. And instead of wondering where we're going to go next, I invite you to really tune into, how does this feel? Giving into any intuitive movements, maybe tilting the head left or right. Seeing if we can remember to breathe. Noticing how that feels down the back of the neck and the shoulders. Maybe an exhale out the mouth. And only when your physical body gives you a cue, I invite you to gently roll the head either way, perhaps on an inhale. Feeling free to linger with an ear over a shoulder. Noticing what it feels like to breathe into this new shape. Feeling free to exhale and roll the chin back down, noticing how that feels, sensation to sensation. Maybe breathing in, coming the other side, who knows? Feeling any differences from left to right. Maybe rolling the opposite shoulder back and down and noticing, how does this really feel? Maybe opening and closing the mouth. Maybe placing the hands onto the collarbones, the neck. Noticing, how does this really feel? Can we keep the breath smooth? Feeling free to allow the chin to come down again at any point. Just listening in. Does the body want to find this gentle flow? Maybe coming all the way around the back of the neck, opening the throat, allowing the head to be heavy. Or does the body want to stay quite still and linger and just breathe? Giving into impulses if we want to change direction at any point as well. Maybe noticing what it feels like to breathe in as we come up, opening. Exhaling as we come down, letting it go. Soft breaths. Maybe noticing what it feels like to bring the hands behind the back, maybe squeezing the palms together. Noticing how that gives us a brand new experience. Feeling free to release the grip at any point. Maybe breathing in, raising the head back up. Maybe exhale, rolling the shoulders back. And just connecting back in with this breath just as it arises. And feeling free to stay here for as long as you like. But if you'd like to continue through with my voice into a little bit more movement, I invite you to gently interlace the fingers and push the palms away. Maybe looking to the fingers, looking at the creases on our knuckles and our wrists. Noticing how it feels to have the fingers interlaced. Noticing what it feels like in the spaces between the fingers. Being quite curious as we look. Knowing that we can come down and release at any point, releasing them. But knowing that we can keep them there. Noticing what it feels like to really stretch the arms forward. How's the breath? And knowing that we can do this eyes open or eyes closed. Just exploring what it feels like to raise the arms up, to only as far that is comfortable. If we feel any sharp pinching, knowing that we can release the fingers, maybe have the arms apart. Knowing that we can have the arms out in front if this feels better for us. Only you know how this feels. And perhaps breathing into the whole of the body, breathing in, filling up. Maybe exhaling, allowing the arms to come down. Maybe breathing in, raising the arms up, opening. Maybe exhaling, letting them down. If that felt good, trying it again, breathing in. Maybe looking up. Maybe exhale, coming down, chin back down as well, who knows? Feeling free to take a little rest. Noticing how does this feel in the shoulders? How does this feel in the fingertips? Just checking in. Am I comfy? Knowing that we can readjust, softening the sit bones. There's nothing we need to achieve here. And perhaps we can explore interlacing the fingers again, maybe taking the opposite thumb on top, the one that feels a little bit weird. And again, maybe exploring breathing in, stretching up, opening. Maybe exhaling, coming over to one side. Feeling free to breathe in as we come back up. And exhaling as we come down the other. Breathing in as we come up. Maybe exhale, releasing. Breathing in. Letting it go. And if that felt good, we can try again. Maybe arms apart, breathing in, lengthening. Maybe exhaling, coming over to one side. Breathing in. Exhaling the other. Feeling free to stay here and linger, but also knowing that we can come out at any point. Maybe stretching up, maybe circling the wrists. Maybe circling the wrists as we make the arms come all the way down. How does this really feel? Soft breaths. How do the wrists feel? How does the tummy feel? Can the tummy be soft? Really curious. Just connecting back in with this moment, just as it is. And before we close this practice, we'll work in a very short meditation. And what we'll do is we'll use the breath and counting. So we'll breathe in and breathe out, and that is a 1. Breathe in and breathe out is 2, and so on. And we'll do this up to multiples of 7. So 7, then 14, 21. And what we'll do is, if the mind wanders, if we forget what number we're on, knowing that that is completely okay. But all we'll do is just start back at number 1 from the very beginning. It doesn't matter how high we go. It doesn't matter. The only person that we're being honest with here is ourselves. And if we find it challenging, and some days we may not make it past number 1, and that's okay. We can bring the scale from 7 down to 3 and explore multiples of 3. So 3, 6, 9. So maybe just to begin, we can roll out the shoulders. Maybe some longer exhales, just allowing the body to settle. Some people like to enjoy their own visualizations for each number. So just feeling what works for you. When you're ready, let's explore breathing in, breathing out. 1. Soft breaths. soft in the forehead. Focusing on the counting and the breath. Allowing the body to really relax. Nothing to hold on to. And as this is only a short video, feeling free to continue here with this counting. And with that, I'll say namaste.